Hello, change makers and social innovators across Africa and the world. We welcome you to yet another amazing edition of the Social Impact webinar. We're excited, we're pumped to have you join us at the April edition of the Social Impact webinar. Let us have you share with us where you're joining us from. I'm joining all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Oluwatoyin Banjo. I am the program director at Ideation of Africa, and I warmly welcome you to this great edition. We have in the studio with us already Victory Ashaka, our guest speaker. We're super ready to have a very enlightening session as always. So share with us if you're live on YouTube, you're live via LinkedIn. Share with us where you're joining us from. We'd love to know what city, where you're joining us from, as well as your name and what you do. This is also a great platform to network and meet other great minds, like-minded change makers and social innovators like yourself. Excitedly, we welcome you to this great edition themed leveraging digital platforms for strategic alliances and collaborative impact in the nonprofit and social enterprise sector. How pumped are you about today's session of the social impact webinar? Let me have you share in the comment section. What are your expectations for today's webinar? We excitedly want to read from you. So pop it up in the comment section. Why I also have as many of you who are tuned in. I can see people are tuned in already. So share with us where you're joining us from. Would excitedly want to hear from you. We're super ready and excited to just explore this great topic, speaking on how to enhance your strategic partnerships, leveraging digital platforms within the development sector. And we have with us an amiable and quintessential speaker who, of course, is quite vast in this area and he will be sharing from his wealth of experience. All right. So while I have you share with us, I will want to, of course, get into the chase as quickly as possible and just introduce our guest speaker. Victory Ashaka is a multi-talented and award-winning spoken word poet, Lagos State Youth Ambassador, climate leader, poetry slam champion, global youth ambassador of Theirworld, and a member of the Young People's Action Team of UNICEF Generation Unlimited. Victory is a graduate of English Literature at Lagos State University and a certified leadership fellow at the Management Institute of Finland in Helsinki. In 2022, he emerged as the poet laureate of the World Food Forum at FAO of the United Nations in Italy. He is a three times TEDx performer, a Millennium Fellowship alumnus, and SME 100 Africa 25 under 25 nominee, ambassador of Dawn Project Network, and the convener of Mega Change Makers Conference. He is artistically inclined with a passion for oratory, a social impact, artistic and literary prowess has earned him laurels, certifications, and autographs from prominent dignitaries. He received the Lifetime Carbon Offset Award by the Climate Trust. He was recognized by the Captain Planet Foundation in the United States and is a creator on UNICEF's Voices of Youth. Victory is not just an artist, he is a social impact maker and a dynamic spoken word performer, known for his high energy performances that inspire hope for others seeking their hearts. Let's warmly welcome Victory Ashaka. All right, let me hear your applause. I can't hear your applause, but let me see your excitement in the comment section. All right, all right. Let me see. I know the people are tuned in already. Victory, I guess you're ready for us, and I have you on board. Hello, Victory. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone. A pleasant day to you all, and I'm doing fine, thank you. It's such a delight to be here.
All right. Exciting, exciting. We're excited to have you in our midst, Victory. Once again, I will just have you um, share with us just before we get on to your presentation. Today's webinar is split into two key parts. The first being the presentation by Victory, and of course the Q&A segment, where we would have you share your questions. We also have curated questions already, and in our midst already. So we would ask questions from these questions that we have on board already, as well as receiving uh, questions from our audience who are tuned in live. I can see the Soul Clinic in our midst, all the way from Canada. Welcome on board. Excited to have you in our midst. Thank you for joining all the way from Toronto, Canada. All right. So, Victory, how excited are you about today?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm delighted to have the opportunity to simply share my story, to also share some insights about my experiences in the development space and the social impact space and how I've been able to do this over the years and over time. I think with some experience of over 6 years in social impact, I think it will definitely be an opportunity to just share these experiences with everyone. And I'm super excited. Thank you.
All right. Exciting, exciting, exciting. All right. Brilliant. Okay. So we'll have you, of course, get onto your presentation in a few seconds. But just before I make that happen, just share with us an intro into your presentation. It's coming up. You would have it. You would have it on your screen in a few minutes. But just before we get into that, share with us some of your experiences along the lines of today's topic, which speaks to leveraging digital platforms for strategic alliances and collaborative impact. Of course, especially within the development sector. We want this to be as very pragmatic as possible. So please infuse a lot of storytelling and share also from your wealth of experiences. All right, over to you, Victory. You have the floor now.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm super excited and I'm delighted to have this opportunity to do this today, specifically because this is something I'm so passionate about. This is something I've done over the years, and I have seen remarkable results, and I've been able to build a track record in the industry. And that is why, personally, I would like to also share from my experience because I remember vividly how I started years back in the development space by volunteering through strategic volunteering with an organization called Solution 17 at the time. And I remember vividly how I started with basic poetry and art, meaning we were given topics, crucial social topics to write on, to paint on, and we do that through the organization, which was also pioneered by the 1986 Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka. So through that platform, I've been able to build myself and then leveraging the digital platforms in telling my story, sharing my experiences with people, and allowing everybody to know and to understand that impact is crucial because I have a saying that says or that goes thus: every small action of impact we make multiplies if we all do it. Meaning that whilst an organization is doing something remarkable in a field, maybe in the environmental space, another organization is also doing something similar, maybe in the environmental space, and different social issues, which could be based on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. It can't be overemphasized that impact is crucial. No matter the number of NGOs we have, no matter the number of organizations we have who are into the social impact space, definitely there is still room for more. There is more work to be done. And that is how I started with the organization volunteering through strategic partnership collaboration and leveraging digital platforms for strategic alliance and collaborative impact in nonprofits and social enterprise sector. And then moving on from here, being able to build a track record on such a platform, my first international breakthrough or my first international big break came in the most unusual way I never imagined. It was on a it was in the evening of a faithful day in 2022. I can remember vividly in July. I think someone who was an intern at FAO of the United Nations in Italy was scrolling through Instagram, was scrolling through LinkedIn also. And at the time, he came across a video which I shared on my LinkedIn page. And then that video, I think it was one of my poetry videos. And then he said it was such an amazing video. And then he decided to send a message to me and he said, oh, he just came across this video of mine on LinkedIn, on the LinkedIn platform, that, oh, he would like to have a conversation with me. From LinkedIn, we started chatting on Instagram. From Instagram, he decided to schedule a meeting with the head of culture at FAO of the United Nations in Italy. And then I was able to join that call, whereby I now went ahead to pitch myself. Remember, it started from volunteering, strategic volunteering, to me sharing my work and leveraging digital platforms such as social media, the LinkedIn platform, to share my story, my video. Somebody came across the video, decided to send me a message. Then we decided to schedule a meeting on a meeting with the team. After scheduling the meeting, immediately after the meeting, they just said, "Oh wow, this is super amazing! That they would definitely like me to emerge as the official poets laureate of FA of the United Nations in Italy for the World Food Forum in 2022." And that was how it happened. For the very first time, leaving the shores of my country, Nigeria, going to Italy to also go there to deliver a poem. The official poem was such a phenomenal experience for me. And it doesn't stop there. Moving on from there, I was able to build strategic relationships and strategic alliance with certain persons that I met there through strategic networking, because I believe relationship is very powerful, relationship is key. And that was how I was able to meet one or two persons. And immediately I got back to Nigeria, I was able to, we were able, the organization which I was working with at the time, through volunteering with my time, my effort, my talent, my artistry, and my skill, decided to now strike a collaboration whereby FAA was now meant to be the major sponsors of the project. Now, it all started from me volunteering with the organization, first of all, whilst growing up. And then I started maximizing digital platforms, leveraging digital platforms to tell my story. Somebody came across the video on LinkedIn. We decided to have a call. I went ahead to pitch myself. I went to Italy to perform before world leaders, distinguished personalities, and then now being able to develop that strategic relationship for me to thrive by bringing those strategic partnership and alliance with something that started from social media back to my country, and for them to support that organization for the project that was meant to happen. Now, that is one of my experiences when it comes to leveraging digital platforms for strategic alliance and collaborative impact in the non-profit and social enterprise sector. All right, so yeah, so I think we can go into the presentation, and that is it. So Victor Ashaka is my name, and I believe from my experience and my story, we already have an insight into my personality. And yeah, so the profile, it's been said I'm an award-winning poet, a global change maker, Lagos State Youth Ambassador, and according to, I'm also a certified leadership fellow from Management Institute of Finland, featured on TEDx, UN, the Italian Consulate, the UNICEF and British Deputy High Commission, also the official World Food Forum 2022 Poets Laureate at FA of the United Nations in Italy, and the convener of Mega Changemakers Conference. And I've been able to develop, I've had over 6 years of experience in the social impact space and the development space, with working with major organizations, NGOs, and multinationals. And this is my story. So moving on, I would like us to understand something, is that our contemporary society is a crucial one that has gone through various phases of evolvement, meaning that if you can look at the slide that has just been shared now, the first part of the slide, which talks about the three major and great social revolution that has happened in our contemporary society. When you look at the aspect of the landscape, you can now see the three major social revolution that has happened. You know, back in the days, we had the agrarian society. We were operating in an agrarian society, which itself means the agricultural revolution. And if we can judge these three revolutions, you can see it on the aspect of social, political, and economic. And then from the agricultural revolution, you can see the settled communities. From political, you could see the chieftains and the agrarian based. I'm going somewhere, I'm driving somewhere. when we look at the second revolution, social revolution, you can see that it is the industrial revolution. So we transitioned from the agricultural revolution to the industrial revolution, which was the advent of major companies that came about the development of systems, structures towards technological advancements, whereby people started working, which something that started as an offshoot of the agrarian revolution, the agricultural revolution. Now you can see the urban societies, the centralized nations, and manufacturing base. Now, the third one, which is where we are currently operating in our contemporary society right now, is the information revolution, the information evolution. From the aspect of the social part, we can see the global network. Politically, you can see different decentralized networks. And from economic, you can see the technology based. It is technology based. Now, I said all these things to draw a line to the fact that our contemporary society thrives on information through the advent of technology for people who are seeking knowledge. Now, I used to say, or I usually say something that knowledge is crucial. Knowledge will definitely give you an edge in any single thing you do. And knowledge is not just power. You know, a lot of persons say knowledge is power, but I say applied knowledge is power. Applied knowledge is power. The application of knowledge and information is power. And then if you must thrive in a contemporary society, in social enterprise or the development space, and in non-profit, social enterprise sector, it is very crucial that we begin to think about evolving technologically with the crucial information that is needed and useful in our contemporary society, because things are evolving with the speed of time, because you can easily find anything you're looking for at your fingertip. Go online for you to search for anything. You will definitely find it at your fingertip with the advent of Google, even with the advent of the artificial intelligence, AI. People are moving, people are shifting structures, shifting systems, and things are moving with the speed of light that if you do not evolve with times and seasons, you might be left behind. And that is why this draws me to the conclusion about this topic we're talking about today, that we've got to leverage digital platforms for strategic alliance and collaborative impact in the nonprofit and social enterprise sector. Meaning that we've got to make use and maximize social media platforms. We've got to maximize e-platforms. We've got to maximize e-platforms. We've got to maximize other systems that are put in place. Now, social media such as Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter that we know about. When it comes to e-platforms, we can begin to talk about platforms like Amazon, platforms like maybe Mainstack, platforms that helps major creators today to simply put their works and then be able to sell their ideas, because we are currently operating in a knowledge-based industry. We are operating in a knowledge-based society right now as we speak. And then it's definitely crucial that we begin to maximize these things, because if you do not know about it, and nobody knows about the things you don't share, the things you don't talk about, the things you don't maximize these platforms for, to simply put your story out there, tell your story, form strategic alliance with people, collaborate and build strategic partnership with people. These are crucial things that we've got to understand currently in our contemporary society. So let's move on. Yeah, so we can move on. And the first thing I'd like us to understand today when it comes to leveraging digital platforms, we have to understand that it is very crucial for us to expand our reach and engagement. It is crucial for us to start expanding our reach and engagement, meaning that digital platforms provide a powerful avenue for nonprofit and social enterprises to reach and engage with diverse audience globally. Like I said, you can find information at your fingertip. Anything you need, you can easily find it, whether it's through social media, online communities, or digital campaigns. You can connect with supporters, volunteers, potential partners on a massive scale by doing what? Fostering dialogue and mobilizing collective action. Now, this is what I have on the slide: expanding your reach and engagement. You know, today you discover that there are certain organizations, there are certain nonprofit, there are certain organizations that we say, and even personal persons who are currently calling themselves as maybe development practitioner. You might be doing something exceptionally great, something mind-blowing, something crucial, But if you don't share your work, if you don't expand your reach, if you don't put out your works and the things that you do personally and collectively as a team, as an organization, or as a system that has been put in place, you'll discover that nobody really cares. Nobody really cares because they don't know about it. Everybody is struggling for attention because I must also say that the attention span of people today has reduced drastically. So it's just like people are now struggling for that attention. But no, there is a better way to do this thing. There is a more effective way to solidify our efforts as people operating in this industry when we wholeheartedly leverage these digital platforms to tell our stories and to put out great content with the digital platforms to provide a powerful avenue for these organizations to definitely reach and engage with diverse audiences. People are out there and people are looking for things that will inspire them, things that will engage them, because people are scrolling on social media daily, on social media platforms, and making use of their data and the likes. It is our collective responsibilities as people who are operating in this industry to simply maximize these opportunities to connect with supporters, with volunteers. Meaning that if you have an organization, for example, and you're looking for people to come and partner with you, or you want to reach out to volunteers to come on board, if you don't talk about it, if you don't share it out there, nobody knows about it. And that is why oftentimes it is not that there are no opportunities for people to maximize, but opportunities are not accessible to certain persons. Because sometimes talent might be universal in the famous saying that talent is universal, but opportunity is not. It is simple because people have potentials, people have got talent, people have got skills and expertise, but the inability for them to now access these opportunities affects their access to now harness those opportunities. And that is why everywhere we operate, either personally or collectively or as a group or as an organization, it is crucial that we maximize our digital platforms. So if it's a brand, definitely you have to optimize your social media platform. I'm going to come to this later before I round off. I'm going to come to this, how you got to maximize and optimize your social media platforms in the most effective way for personal branding. Personal branding is not just logos, flyers, pictures, colors, or the like. No, personal branding is optimizing your platform that meets the standard of people's expectation. And personal branding is not for individuals alone. Personal branding is also for non-profit. Personal branding is also for organizations. Personal branding is also for various sectors that are willing to expand their reach and engagement. So this is very crucial. So we can go to the next. And the next thing I'd like to say, or I'd like to highlight, is resource sharing and collaboration. Resource sharing and collaboration. This is very crucial because I must say that according to what I've highlighted, by leveraging digital platforms, organizations can easily share knowledge, resources, and best practices with one another, whether it is through online forums, maybe collaborative tools, or virtual networks. We can collaborate on projects, exchange expertise, and pool resources to maximize our impact and address complex issues collaboratively. This is very crucial, resources sharing and collaboration, because collaboration is very powerful. Collaboration is very crucial in the sense that whenever we collaborate or whenever we partner with somebody else different from ourselves, what we do is that we tap into the audience of that person, we tap into the audience of that organization, and people are now able to discover us. People are able to see us for what we do, for the works we do. And this is why it's very crucial that we tap into the resource sharing and collaboration. When you collaborate, what you do is that you tap into the audience of a person, you create more visibility for yourself, you build more credibility on your ability to partner with people to produce remarkable results. And this is what people are looking forward to. So people do not have a threshold for mediocrity. And that is why every now and then, people are always looking forward to people who have been able to sustain a track record of effective collaboration with other persons. And then there is that credibility that comes because they know that, oh, if you've done a work before like this, it means you have been tested and trusted, and you're now able to work together. And this is very crucial. Resources sharing and collaboration is also another crucial thing that we've got to analyze when it comes to leveraging digital platforms. either it's on Instagram or any social media platforms or any other external platform that we want to maximize or use, it is very crucial that we think about collaboration. And now, in fact, a platform like Instagram has done something maybe remarkable, we must say, when it comes to collaboration, that you no longer have to now do it individually. Somebody can just make a post and then the other person accepts the collaboration. And that is how you begin to tap into individual audiences, and then it's the reach increases, the reach is being maximized. So we can go to the next. And it is very important that we analyze and to realize the resource sharing and collaboration, which is very important. So for us to exchange our expertise and use the pool of resources that we have at our disposal. The third thing is innovation or innovative fundraising and donor engagement. This is another crucial one. I highlighted here that digital platforms offer innovative fundraising tools and channels that enable nonprofits and social enterprise to diversify their revenue streams and engage with donors more effectively, from crowdfunding platforms to online donation portals. We can leverage technology to inspire generosity, build trust, and mobilize financial support for our causes. Through digital platforms, it offers innovative fundraising tools and channels to enable diversity, for us to diversify our revenue streams, for us to engage with donors, to also crowdfund our platforms to scale. And we can also leverage technology to inspire generosity. This is very important. Nonprofits is an understanding of nonprofits, or if you've operated in nonprofits, you realize that you're not generating revenue for yourself, meaning that that nonprofit or social enterprise has to run on sponsorship, has to run on funding, has to run on grant winning or grant opportunities, and other donations by people. And this is why it is very crucial that we begin to think about how we can leverage digital platforms to do what? To build our portfolio, in the sense that whenever we go to a prospective partner to come and sponsor, to come and support us, they easily accept and approve that sponsorship because they have seen a track record. There is results, and it is only results that cancels insults. So meaning that whenever you have a result, maybe you've done something phenomenal before, your ability to put it together in a portfolio and to present it neatly, excellently, will determine the other benefits you're going to get. Now, I remember vividly when I organized the Mega Changemakers Conference as the Lagos State Youth Ambassador with my team. It was the Lagos State Youth Ambassadorial role I was operating in, or I started operating in. It is not a political one. It is more of a social impact one into communities, societies, our individual divisions and the like. So we have to go into our societies and then go and find social problems, social issues that youth are going through, that communities are going through. We're not going to sit down and think critically about a creative solution or a sustainable project that we can organize, so as for us to get partners to come on board to execute that pet project, right? So when I wanted to start preparing for the Mega Changemakers Conference with my team, and we wanted to network with people to get sponsorship and funding, all we had to do was to go back to all the works we've done over time, to put them into a portfolio. We've been able to organize a school sensitization tour before. We've done Tour Badagry, the Cradle of Modern Civilization, bringing youth from everywhere in Lagos, from everywhere, from different places. Some persons came from different places in the Southwest region, and then hosting them as a team for the tour was phenomenal. So some of these projects we've been able to do, hosting quite a number of celebrities and the likes, made us put these things into a portfolio. And then when we were working towards sponsorship, all we had to do was to put it together in a document, submitting it, and then pitching our idea about the conference and the impact that that conference will make when people fund it, when people support it. And that was how we were able to strike partnership with a bank such as First Bank, with remarkable personalities in the society, with private donors and the likes. And we were able to host this conference with funding. The right funds we needed was made available. Guess what? It didn't end here. We were also able to strike strategic partnership, invite guest speakers such as Latif Adedimeji, which is a popular celebrity and filmmaker. Someone like Taoma, who is a popular skit maker, content creator. We were able to bring someone like Saka, the legendary Saka, a legend in the filmmaking industry, the chief of UNICEF office, and quite a number of reputable personalities in different industries. We brought them together for that conference. But then that is an offshoot of our ability to creatively think out of the box, to strike strategic partnership when it comes to fundraising by the portfolio we built over time, because there was results, we had a track record, and we were able to present it to gain the sponsorship of people. We were able to maximize that and leverage on that to get the attention of these remarkable personalities without even paying them a dime to appear at the event to come and share their story. So this is how it works, and I believe that one or two things could be learned from this experience. So let's move on to the next. And I believe these are crucial things we could also look when it comes to leveraging digital platforms, because whilst we were doing these things, we were sharing it on our social media platforms, we were sharing it on WhatsApp, on our statuses, on the groups we were, on youth-led groups and youth-focused groups, and those were strategic partnership we were able to strike. Now, the fourth thing, before the last two that I will highlight this evening, is data-driven decision-making. Data-driven decision-making, and what I highlighted here is that one of the greatest advantages of digital platform is the access to data and analytics they provide. By harnessing the power of data, we can gain valuable insight into our impact, track progress towards our goals, and make informed decisions to optimize our strategy and resource allocation for greater effectiveness and efficiency. Now, data-driven decision, which is very crucial, meaning that if you're doing anything, you have to now study that what has worked over time for us, what is not working, how can we improve on what is not working, and how can we do better on the thing that has worked for us. When it comes to strategic partnership, when it comes to leveraging digital platforms, what are those posts that we put out there that have done well? What's made those posts do well? Sometimes most of the things that may go viral are things that people are relating with, people can relate with, because they can see their own realities and experiences through those things. Or another thing is that the value that comes with it. And this is why it is very crucial that we focus also on data-driven decision making, because we analyze things, we see what has worked before. So it is, I think it could be sometimes maybe foolishness to leave a thing that is working or that has worked for us and do something else. Me, myself, personally, I don't want to subscribe to the ideology of foolishness. So I'm trying my possible best daily to ensure that I build upon something that has worked for me over time. Personally, as a personal brand, or someone who has got a personal brand in the artistry of spoken word poetry, I know that this is something that has given me a great and huge mileage when it comes to accessibility, when it comes to revenue, when it comes to funding and financial capabilities, when it comes to means. It's majorly through my spoken word poetry artistry. So it is just wisdom for me to now start thinking about how can I improve upon this artistry of spoken word poetry? How can I deliver more? What are the strategic partnerships I've got to do? What are the cold emails I'm meant to send to strategic persons for me to come on board to work creatively? How can I position myself? We now begin to think about how can we strategically position ourselves to do the things that will definitely give us the remarkable results we look towards. And that is why it's very important that we sit back, analyze what is working. So if it is a non-profit or the social enterprise, what is that product that is selling? What is that project that we do that is working? You know, everybody does, maybe, for instance, Pad Again initiative. People do school sensitization tours and the like. But what is that creative thing that we're bringing to the table that we are bringing, or even if it is something that is even existing, because there is nothing new under the sun, even if it is something that has been existing before, how can we think out of the box to make this refined? To refine it, just as you pick up a raw gold and then you do not appreciate that material until you are able to refine it, until that raw gold goes through refinement, goes through fire, and it is purified, and it comes out before you are now able to appreciate it that, oh, this gold is awesome. And people start striving to pay for it, striving to offer value for it, to spend their resources on the gold. That analogy, this analogy I've just given, let's now apply it to non-profit and social enterprise when it comes to leveraging digital platform. How can you refine that thing that is in your hands for you to now deliver value through excellence, for people to now appreciate it? Because you must ask yourself, Excellence should be the minimum standard in anything you do. So your ability to pick a raw gold and make it refined to now present it makes the difference. And this is very crucial. So we can move to the next, which is the fifth thing I would like to highlight this evening. Yeah, it is very important that we talk about the data-driven decision-making. Data, we work on data, we execute from a point of knowledge, we execute from a point of strategy so that we don't spend so much time toiling and toiling and toiling. So the fifth thing, which is the second to the last, is advocacy and awareness building. And according to what I wrote here, according to what I highlight, it is digital platforms that serve as powerful tools for advocacy and raising awareness about social issues through strategic storytelling, multimedia content, and online campaigns. We can amplify marginalized voices, mobilize public support, and influence policymakers to drive systemic change and advance social justice. Now, talking about advocacy and awareness building when it comes to leveraging digital platforms for nonprofits, for social enterprise, it is crucial. Storytelling is important, multimedia content, online campaigns. We can amplify marginalized voice, mobilize public support. Now, when it comes to storytelling, because storytelling is crucial for advocacy and awareness building. For instance, many of us are aware about the recent ordeal of the profound and amazing chess master Tunde Onokoya, who has just broken the Guinness World Record for the highest number of times spent playing the chess, going unbeaten, which was a plan that worked for him through his achievements with his nonprofit also Chess in the Slum initiative. Looking at it, before he went ahead to break that record, this is someone that has built a track record over the years in chess, in building the next generation of chess masters from communities such as Makoko communities, Oshodi communities in Nigeria. In case you're not in Nigeria, these are marginalized places. These are marginalized communities whereby this person called Tunde Onokoya, he goes into these societies, into these communities to identify young people who do not have access to education, and he tries to bring them together and tries to help them understand that impossibility is nothing, that greatness can also come from the most unlikely places. Now, it brings them together, it teaches them how to play chess, and this guy has been so instrumental in sharing the story of these young people, of these children, telling their stories, leveraging the social media platform, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all such as that, to tell the stories, leveraging multimedia content to share the story, to push out the narrative. Even before breaking the Guinness World Record, this is somebody that has gotten sponsorship support from private sector, from public sector, from individuals, from brands, even from the Lagos state government to support the initiative called Chess in the Slum. And look at what he has done today, moving to doing something out of the box, something phenomenal, going to New York to break the record right in New York, and then returning back to Nigeria with that championship with the Guinness World Record. This is an example of advocacy rather, and awareness building when it comes to leveraging storytelling, digital platforms, multimedia content to share our story in nonprofit and social enterprise. And this is such an example that is also phenomenal. And I believe that through this, they've even been able to raise over $100,000 in support for their initiative to help them scale their impact. And this is what social media and digital platform does. It helps us to maximize certain opportunities to tell our stories, opportunities to reach out to more people, and opportunities to strike strategic partnership. And finally, which is the sixth thing on the agenda for this evening, is capacity building and learning opportunities. Capacity building and learning opportunities, which is the sixth thing we have to understand. And lastly, I said that digital platforms offer abundant opportunities for capacity building, learning, and professional development in the nonprofit and social enterprise sector, whether it is through online courses, webinars, maybe virtual conferences. We can acquire new skills and stay updated on emerging trends and network with like-minded change makers to enhance our impact and effectiveness, which is very crucial. Capacity building and learning opportunities is important when it comes to leveraging social media platforms because we've got to sometimes put out certain things that will help us scale for learning and professional development in non-profit and social enterprise sector. And this is important when it comes to maybe webinars, courses, virtual conferences like the one we're having currently by the Ideation Hub Africa, which is very crucial. And this comes to the play of capacity building. Capacity building is important. Learning opportunities are important for people to scale, for people to upskill, for people to develop themselves, to build themselves, and to help people understand certain things and leverage opportunities, maximize opportunities for growth, development, and progress. And this is definitely self-explanatory. So as I round off, I'd like to also highlight the next thing that I've highlighted here on the slide, which is leveraging multimedia tools and digital, the different social media platforms to amplify your voice and your impact. Your voice and your impact. Now, the first thing I highlighted is for you to have a brand identity. Brand identity is very crucial, that they must know you for who you are. So what is the one thing that comes to the minds of people whenever they hear your name? What is the one thing that comes to the minds of people whenever they hear your brand? What is the one thing that comes to the mind of people whenever they hear the organization you're coming from? This is how to think and begin to think about how we can now have a brand identity that everybody knows. Major brands, major nonprofits should stand out, maybe by brand color, by the things they do, the quality of what they put out, the value they share with young persons and the like. This is how strategic alliance could be built by leveraging multimedia content, multimedia tools. The next thing on that number one that I highlighted is be authentic and consistent. Authenticity and consistency across social media platforms, digital platforms is very crucial, meaning that you are not a poet on LinkedIn, on Instagram, you are a salesman into real estate, maybe on Twitter, you are an advocate for girls' rights or feminism, or being a feminist, or there has to be consistency across every social media platform, and that is how a person can build mastery. That is how a nonprofit can maximize and establish themselves as authorities in a field, in an industry. So you've got to have a brand identity that everybody knows you about. You've got to be authentic and consistent across social media platforms. The second thing is content strategy and creating suitable contents. Content strategy and creating suitable contents, meaning that you have to be strategic. What works on LinkedIn might not work on Instagram. What works on Twitter might not work on Facebook. We just have to think about it. Okay, sometimes captions work so well with LinkedIn. People want to read long-form content, motivational posts, inspiring content. But on Instagram, people do well with visuals like pictures, videos, carousels, and the like. On Twitter, maybe short quotes, analogies, maybe nuggets, and the likes. So the ability to understand the different social media platforms, the different social platforms, to leverage them and use them effectively for personal brand and for maybe nonprofits or social enterprise is very crucial. And I believe this is self-explanatory for a person to be able to stand the test of time, for organization to be able to stand the test of time. And the third thing I say is for you to understand your audience and build a community, understand your audience and build a community. Know the people that are engaging with you, because your audience will definitely come from the kind of people that can relate with you. Relatability is very crucial when it comes to this. The kind of people that will relate with you, the kind of people that will engage with you are those that need your content, that see it as something being valuable. And this is very crucial. You are able to build a community, build a brand. And finally, because of time, so I could maximize the time that has been given to me, I'll go to the third one, which is to optimize for each platform and analyze your performance. Optimizing for each platform, knowing what works best for you. On the final note, I believe things are explanatory that we could use harness for personal brands, for nonprofits, for social enterprises, and use it effectively. And finally, on the slide I've got is talking about personal branding, which sums up everything I've been discussing so far. Building a strong online presence, which is very crucial. Building a strong online presence is very crucial. You see, moving from a stage to another stage, nothing happens overnight. Everything is a result of consistency, a result of diligence, and a result of excellence. Because I have a saying that if I won't do my best, I would rather leave it to rest than make it a mess. So anything I do has to be top notch, has to be exceptional. That is why building a personal and a strong online presence is very crucial. People should know you for what you do. And that's why I started by saying you've got to put out content, even if it is your personal one, if it is a brand, a non-profit, social enterprises, the development space, multinationals, and the like. You've got to put it out there, build a strong online presence. The next is consistency across platforms that I highlighted in the previous slide. Optimize the profile, your CV, bio, your social media platforms has to be optimized, meaning that from your profile to your picture to your banner to your profile to your headline to every single thing you do to the way you post your content, how effective it is, those you collaborate with, every single thing counts in your journey towards attainment. And the last tool that I will highlight is visual identity, such as pictures and videos must be clear, must be visible, must be relatable, must be something that people can see through your authenticity. And finally, become an authority and a thought leader by sharing value. As a personal person, you've got to become an authority by sharing value, become a thought leader to give out value. And that is how we are able to build our personal brand, develop ourselves in non-profits, wherever we find ourselves, in the organizations we find ourselves, for us to scale impact, for us to do the things that are very crucial for growth development. And on this final note, I'd like to say this is my experience when it comes to this topic of leveraging digital platforms for strategic alliances and collaborative impact in the nonprofit and social enterprise sector. And I hope with this, we are fully set to also do great and mighty things for ourselves, for the industry we operate in. And this is very crucial. Thank you so much.
We are fully set to also do great and mighty things for ourselves, for the industry we operate in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Victory. That was a very insightful session. Thank you so much. So many key takeaways, so many awesome insights from what you shared thus far. I love the six highlights you made around resource collaboration, expanding your reach, capacity building, and many more. And in addition to that, just also highlighting the media tools that could we could take into cognizance whilst building our personal brand and also leveraging digital platforms. Thank you, Victory, for that very brilliant presentation. So I want to say to our
Yeah,
audience
thanks for
join
having me.
tuned in at the moment, please pop in your questions in the comment section. I know this session has already been very insightful, but we're getting on onto the question and answer segment. So don't tune out. That is also a very great part of today's webinar, and there will be many other great wisdom nuggets that would be pulled out that can be curated or pulled out from that particular segment that we're about to get into. All right, Victory. The first question on my mind will be I know you told us how we can leverage. The next question that will come to mind for most people would be there are likely challenges in leveraging these platforms. So share with us some of these challenges and how we can address challenges, in leveraging digital platforms within the sector.
All right. Do you mind coming again?
Okay, I should come again with a question.
Oh,
Can you hear me? All right, so
yes, I
I
can hear
was
you now.
saying, what are some of the challenges associated with utilizing digital platforms for building strategic alliances within the nonprofit and social enterprise sector? And how would you address these challenges?
Okay, definitely. Challenges are part of life. I think that's what also makes life interesting and fulfilling when one is able to transition from challenges to results, to remarkable results, remarkable input and accomplishment. Yeah, there are definitely challenges that one could encounter when it comes to digital platforms that should be maximized. And then maybe when we talk about these digital platforms, some challenges could be that some people see as maybe lack of visibility, maybe not having a wider reach, not having the necessary followers that they think they definitely deserve or they should have to share their story. But I must say something today that, for instance, if you also ask these persons that, okay, you're talking about visibility. Visibility is very crucial when it comes to maximizing these opportunities for us to put out great content and the like. But when you ask these people that, okay, maybe for instance, how many followers do you have on maybe Instagram? The person could say, I have just 500 followers. Just 500 followers. Do you know what is 500? Can they take you, maybe they should take you and bring you into a hall filled with 500 people and ask you to address those 500 people. Maybe that is when we now realize the magnitude of 500, that it is a number. That wherever you find yourself, despite the challenges of not having the major, maybe followership that you think you want to have, like major influencers, brands, and the likes, the way you nurture those 500 that you have right now will determine the more people you are able to attract to your page to support the work you do, to support your vision, to engage with your works. And that is how I say it. It is not just, those are actual numbers. Those are people behind those numbers. So the more we have a mental shift about these things, the more we are able to now overcome these challenges. So that is one challenge that I can say. Another one could be when it comes to maybe people not able to strike the right partnership they want to strike, maybe through social media platform. But I must say that I've been able to strike strategic partnership or collaborate with people. And my experience has also shown me that collaboration is very powerful, because I think the reason so many people do not collaborate could be maybe, maybe they might be having a sense of maybe insecurity, sometimes imposter syndrome on what to post, on what to share, the people to reach out to, or maybe this person is not going to respond to me, answer me. But sometimes we lose nothing by trying, but oftentimes lose 100% of the chances we don't take. We lose nothing by trying, but oftentimes lose 100% of the chances we don't take. Meaning that we've got to think about how can we do this thing. If we've got an idea, a vision, how can we bring that vision to life and ensure that we are bold enough, we are confident enough to reach out to these people, collaborate with them, because we are tapping into their audience, we are tapping into their resource, and it is a symbiotic relationship, doing it together. And I think this is some of the challenges that people can think of on the aspect of visibility, on the aspect of branding, on the aspect of collaboration, that I think could be overcome. And moving on, every other thing I think with the platforms are okay. It is just a matter of consistency to ensure that we don't feel insecure or allow imposter syndrome to also stop us from sharing our works.
Thank you so much, Victory. I just love that in a nutshell, you're saying go out there, be bold, be fearless, and just really tell your story. There is never a best time to get out there to do anything, right? Today marks the very best day to just go out there and really exemplify the change you desire to see. So brilliant insights once again, Victory. Thank you so much. All right. So moving on to the next question that is on my mind. The next question I have in mind is, I know you shared a practical example of a change maker leveraging digital platform to facilitate a strategic alliance. I want you to delve deeper into that. So describe a successful example you have seen of a digital platform facilitating a strategic alliance that led to significant social impact. It could be your personal story, it could be the story of another change maker. Can you hear me, Victory? Thank you.
Yeah, okay, if I got you rightly, that maybe an occurrence or an occurrence that one person has used to maximize strategic alliance, right? Yeah, partnership. So I'll talk on the aspect of partnership or something I've done before. Serving as Lagos State Youth Ambassador exposed me to leveraging the opportunity, the platform to reach out to people, to help people maximize and opportunities to do great things. I remember vividly how, as a result of a project I did, which was called tree planting and climate education at schools and local government development areas in my community in Lagos State. Through that, I was able to leverage the platform to plant trees at these schools to help them teach students, young people, children about how to dispose refuse appropriately, do the things that are eco-friendly, to recycle, to dispose refuse appropriately, to plant trees, and to learn about the environment from the to learn about the environment, because today we are gradually grappling with the extreme heat wave in a country like Nigeria, for instance. And then all these things accrue to climate change and the likes. So through that, an organization saw the work we did, and we were able to share our work. And then they decided to reach out that, oh, this is amazing. They would love me to help them facilitate a project they had in a community in Badagry. So through that, I was able to lead the team to host that strategic project in Badagry by leading the team to advocate in market area and the environment for that project. And it was a successful one with the chief, one of the white cap chiefs in Lagos. Through the resources that were needed were made available as a result of that collaboration. Every single thing that was needed was made available, the resources, the logistics, and everything, as a result of the project I did in the past, which is also an offshoot of the creative ability for me to think out of the box and be able to do that. So that is one instance. There are other collaborations I've been able to do with other organizations so far. But I think, with this is one of the things I've been able to do over time when it comes to strategic partnership. When people see you do something, they can now trust you that, okay, you'll be able to deliver more by the results you've been able to get. So I think it is just a matter of being tested and trusted, seeing the results, seeing a track record, and they can now trust you that if they definitely give you this thing, you'll be able to maximize it and handle it effectively. That's it.
Thank you so much, Victory. Great insight. I love how you again highlighted practical examples from your own personal experience. Victory, are you there? Please confirm that you can hear me.
Yes, I can
Please
hear you.
confirm
I
that
can
you
hear
can
you.
hear me.
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, great, great. Thank you. All right. So thank you once again for sharing those brilliant insights and being very pragmatic and sharing from your own experience as a change maker. So I love that. So moving on quickly to the next question. And this will be around, I know you had shared on the different types of platforms and the fact that you've got to be very strategic in leveraging these different digital platforms. So, beyond social media, what types of digital platforms are most valuable for fostering collaboration and alliances within the nonprofit and social enterprise sector? And I want you to just explain, your own reason as to why that particular platform is most valuable. Thank you.
Okay, so other platforms, yeah, because today in our contemporary society, social media is the new digital CV. So social media is the new digital CV that people don't even have to maybe request for CV any longer. But aside from social media, other platforms that one could maximize for strategic partnership, to simply tell stories, to simply project one's impact, it's not different than saying maybe a personal website. What's more, when we're talking about digital platforms, we're talking about social media, we're talking about e-platforms like personal websites with like Seller, uh, Mainstack, Seller, Cheap, Mailchimp, and different platforms that people even make use of email when they have strategic partnership with their maybe customers, for instance, and then they have everybody's email. They maximize the email, and every single thing still comes in the same circle of these digital platforms, from social media to other platforms like email, personal websites, maybe even YouTube platform, which is also could be referred to as social media, so a part of social media platforms and the like. So I think these are the major ones that are different from personal websites. So it's nothing so different. And the reason I say this is that when we talk about digital platforms, it talks about what we are able to use technology for. So there are different applications out there too that we could maximize that are different from social media platforms. But those applications are apps, applications that one could also use to depict one's stories. There are people that may are not maybe if active on one platform, but they are active on other platforms. There are people that may not think about maybe showing up on this platform and they decide to show up on several other platforms. So there are different platforms that one could maximize that could be found on Apple Play Store, on Google Play Store, and the likes. It's just by finding what works for you in actual fact. If this thing works for you, if it is social media that works for you, definitely maximize that. And if it is everything, why not? Everything can work for you. But then beyond that, you could also know the one you're very most likely active on when it comes to social media, when it comes to digital platforms. And when it comes to e-platforms, different from these, there are e-platforms like maybe Amazon, Audible, and the likes. These are platforms that people use to sell their works. So for instance, on Amazon, you could get books, you could buy books, which are products of people, of non-profits, of social enterprises, maybe on Amazon, then they upload these things, people pay for it, and they get paid for it in turn, revenue. We have Audible, we have podcasts, we have different platforms that people maximize for their works, for their branding, for their personal stories, for their organizations also. So it's just based on what works for anyone.
I love it. Thank you so, so much, Victory. I love again that you're emphasizing just again identifying what is most suitable for your self as a change maker. We're trying to tell the story of your impact as well as your organization. So it's not about doing copying and pasting or trying to follow trends. It's really about identifying, what aligns with your values, vision, and mission as a change maker and an organization. Thank you so much, Victory. So I'm moving on to the next question, and which is around, the ethical practice or use of digital platforms. So this question goes first. What potential ethical considerations would you say arise when utilizing digital platforms for building strategic alliances within the nonprofit or social enterprise sector? And how would you encourage change makers to ensure responsible and transparent collaboration?
Yeah, so please, just if you don't mind, kindly take the question.
Okay, I'll take it again. So the question goes first, and it's just simply speaking to you share with us likely ethical considerations that could arise when utilizing digital platforms for building strategic alliances, and building collaborative impact, within the sector, development sector. And the second layer of that question says, how would you encourage change makers to ensure responsible and transparent collaboration?
Oh, all right. So when we talk about the etiquettes, the ethical actions to be taken by people when it comes to using this digital platform, is very crucial that if you are building a brand, you have to be consistent. And I said it in my presentation also that authenticity is very important. You must be authentic. That if you do something on this platform, you have to spread it across different platforms, and then you have to tweak it in the sense that it is adaptable to those platforms with the different content types. So talking about the ethics of social media, what works for a platform will not work for another platform. I said it, that what could work for LinkedIn might not work for Instagram. But aside that, there are certain things you've got to do and certain things you don't have to do, but it is based on individuals anyways. If you're building a brand, if you're building a global brand, there are certain things that must not be found on your social media platforms. There are certain things you don't have to retweet. There are certain topics you don't even have to jump on. Simply because you have an idea about a thing doesn't mean you have to speak about that thing. But it has to be in the sense that you are creatively curating your experiences, that people know you for something, and then they tie something to your brand that, oh, this is what you stand from, that you are authentic, you are consistent across various social media platforms. When it comes to etiquette, ethics, and actions to be done, there are several things you don't necessarily have to do. There are several things you also have to do by engaging with people, by liking their posts, commenting, leaving remarkable comments that are thoughtful that people can now engage on. Sometimes people might just make a post and then disappear, and you expect, oh, people should engage with it, and then you are no longer there and you decide to disappear from it. But maybe when you make a post, you could engage with people, have conversations like that, reshare, tell your stories. When people engage you, that's how to build a community, building a community around your brand, doing the right things that will definitely aid growth, development, and progress for your brand. And then there are certain things that should not be found associated with you. If you know you're building a global brand, or if you want them to know you by something, you don't say something today and you decide to do something tomorrow. You have to be consistent. If you're doing something remarkably well, something great, something in an industry, stick to it. And if you want to go, if it is a person who is trying to go astray, okay, be consistent with it. We've had instances with people like that who are known to do various things that is suitable to their content. That's why social media platforms or digital platforms gives everybody the freedom to express themselves. We have musicians using these platforms, we have content creators, we have skit makers, we have poets, we have business owners maximizing these platforms. But you know what works for you and how to craft it and use it creatively that wouldn't in turn hurt your brand or come back to haunt you after making that or after making a post. I know most of us might be conversant with maybe what happened last night. I don't want to go too much into that. What happened last night with in an industry with how there was like, should I call it? It could be compared to a tug of war with two brands, and that these people are not known to be. There are people who look up to these people, and then the kind of attitude they now display online might not project themselves as good role models because there are people following them, there are people seeing them who love their music, people who listen to their songs, and then them displaying these things on social media right now, it could be discouraging, it could lead certain people astray. And I think we just have to strike a balance, build etiquette along the way. And then when it comes to etiquette, when it comes to for collaboration, etiquette for collaboration, it has to be symbiotic. You don't have to be one person, a person doesn't have to be selfish. A collaboration means that you are being vulnerable with the other person, you are being vulnerable with the other team, with the other party, to know and have a conversation for an agreement that what are we going to do? What are the dividends? What are the things or the proceeds that we're going to get from this? What is the end result? So we are not just collaborating because they say collaboration is the next big thing or collaboration is the great thing to do. No, what is the essence, the aim behind that collaboration? Is it for strategic partnership? Is it for value, to give out value through your brand? Is it to form an alliance to project or to give out certain things to people, to help people discover knowledge, to give out value, to help people grow, develop themselves, build their brand? What's the essence? When we understand the essence, which is the purpose, I think we don't fall short. Because when purpose is not known, in the famous saying, abuse is inevitable. When purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So the moment we understand the purpose of a thing, the value of a thing, we can now form that strategic alliance and use it creatively without greed, without pushing back, or without allowing the other party suffer from the agreement that has been made initially. And that's how I see it.
Thank you so much, Victory, once again. I just love again how you drum in the import of value alignment, when it comes to driving strategic collaborations. Thank you once again. Finally, look into the work we do within the sector and even the future of social innovation. How do you envision digital platforms evolving to further support and strengthen strategic alliances within the development sector?
Okay, well, when it comes to digital platforms, it is something that is already existing with, for instance, the Meta company, which they're currently doing, and they're trying to maximize the use of AI, artificial intelligence, which is gradually taking over. And if you can see from the last few days, and I know by now, most of us already have the AI feature on our WhatsApp. Some of us have it on our Instagram. Some of us have it on maybe other social media platforms, AI currently on with AI, with the advent of AI, and people are now asking AI questions like every information you need right now, you can find it at your fingertip. You could ask AI, and then in a few seconds, it is going to bring out every single thing you have. Today, if you are to ask AI, how can I build visibility for my brand? I'm creating great content right now, but I'm not getting maybe the right followership or the right people. I'm not attracting the right people. Just ask AI, just put in there, how can I attract the right people? It is going to bring out every single information. So I think the advent of the AI, artificial intelligence, the technological advancement is gradually moving sporadically. And that is why it's very crucial that we begin to think about how we can now move with through times and seasons. The things we were doing before, at the point we didn't have a platform like StreamYard for such a webinar. In fact, before 2020, the level at which we had webinars, online engagements was limited. If it were to be before the 2020 occurrence, maybe an event like this could be happening physically. They might have thought about, oh, maybe let's do it once a month and gather at a hall or gather at the hall and try to do this event. But now, with the opportunity for this platform like StreamYard right now, we can now have this conversation, this webinar for people to get impacted, for people to get information, get knowledge, get resources to build themselves, develop themselves, get the right information that will help them build their brands and then do great things out there. So I believe that looking at this from this perspective, that is how I also see social media platforms evolving over time. And that is why most of these platforms right now are no longer stopping the things they do. They are evolving because the attention span of people has reduced drastically in a contemporary society, even with the advent of technology, that people just want to swipe. So if you no longer have a captivating line or a hook to hold people or to attract people in just 10 seconds, people are just going to scroll off. So that is why people are now discovering good ways for them to now maximize these opportunities to harness it and maximize these digital platforms. And that is how I see it. And I think I'll just have to end here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victory. Thank you once again for those great insights from your end. Beautiful, beautiful time we've had. Just delving into this enriching and enlightening topic of leveraging digital platforms for building strategic alliances and collaborative impact within the nonprofit and social enterprise sector. I want to hear from our audience tuned in. Share with us some of your light bulb moments from this session with our amiable guest speaker in the person of Victory Ashaka. So share with us, how has this session been for you? Has it been eye-opening? Has it been enlightening? Has it been very educative? Let us hear from you in the comment section. So thank you so much, Victory. Once again, it's been a power-packed segment, starting from the presentation into this question and answer segment. So I want you to just share with us your final charge, to everyone tuned in. We have our ecosystem members tuned in at the moment. So share with us your final charge. I know that along the lines of you sharing today, you've iterated or reiterated the import of telling your story, the import of really just going out and being bold, about leveraging collaborations through digital platforms and ensuring that you drive this consistently, because consistency is really a key ingredient in excellently leveraging platforms for building strategic alliances. So over to you, Victory. Share with us, your final chat to our ecosystem members who are tuned in globally at this time.
All right. So my final charge, what I like to say is I think it's been such a phenomenal experience so far, a phenomenal engagement this day about leveraging digital platforms for strategic alliance and collaborative impact in the nonprofit and social enterprise sector, which is very crucial. And I just believe that from this session, we are able to think critically about how we can build our personal brand for ourselves and the industry we operate in, or the organizations we work in, or our non-profit individuals, and how we could build a personal brand to the point of excellence, because excellence is affordable to everybody, I must say. One thing that we have to consider in anything we do is that people no longer have a threshold for mediocrity, that if it is not up to standard and expectations, people will definitely move because our attention span has reduced drastically. And excellence is very crucial. Excellence is key. Excellence is affordable. You can afford excellence. Everybody can afford excellence. And the fact that I speak about excellence means that it is not in the ability of us to go up and above what we are not able to get for ourselves at this point in time. Excellence simply means how we are able to maximize to the highest point and our very best with what we have at our disposal. So at every level and every stage we find ourselves, excellence is something that we are able to maximize that thing that has been given to us at our disposal to leverage the opportunity that we've got and to deliver value out there. And that is why it is also important that we strategically position ourselves with our social media platforms, with our digital platforms, in sharing our stories, telling our stories from our multimedia content creation, and every single thing we want to consider out there. Put out your work, tell your stories, because you never can tell those who are looking, those who are observing, those who are watching you. Like I shared my story when I started this session about how I got my first international break, even the second international break. It was through somebody that observed some of the works I put out. One of the works I put out there on my social media page decided to reach out to me, and I got a fully funded opportunity like that to do something great before world leaders. So yours might not happen on LinkedIn, yours might happen from another platform, yours might happen in another way. Maybe it could be from referral, it may be someone you're working with or somebody you worked with in the past, or the strategic collaboration you've done with somebody, or friendship, and how we are able to have and build a solidified network of people. Some of us try to network upwards, which has to do with networking vertically. But sometimes what we just need is to network horizontally, meaning that we don't always have to
Sorry,
push up
Victory.
to those who
Your
are above
camera is
us.
turned off. Please, can you turn it on? It's turned off.
Yeah, I'm rounding off now. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay. All right.
sometimes we don't always have to reach out to people who are above us. Sometimes networking could be in the sense of um, reaching out to those who are contemporaries, because you never can tell, your contemporary today might be the one that will recommend you for your biggest opportunity in the future, in the long run. So here is my 2 cents. Maximize this opportunity, leverage your social media platforms and opportunities made available to you, and then I believe that in the shortest possible time the result will definitely speak for itself. Thank you so much, and it's my sincere pleasure and delight to have accepted this invite to share my story, to give my 2 cents, to share my insights. And I believe that with this, we are fully prepared to also go forth and do other amazing things that will definitely, in turn, make progress for sustenance and for progress. Thank you so much for listening. It's my sincere pleasure. And thanks so much, Ms. Tony, and for the opportunity. Yeah, great job.
Thank you so much, Victory. Thank you so much. Thank you again for emphasizing the power of excellence and why it's just important to leverage all critical elements to building and strengthening strategic relationships. Very insightful session. Thank you once again for joining us at this edition of the Social Impact webinar. I want to read from our audience, read from our ecosystem members who are joining at the moment. Thank you once again, Victory. Really do appreciate it. If you would love to connect with Victory, you can, of course, search him out with his name, Ambassador Victory Ashaka, via LinkedIn, and I think other platforms, whether Instagram, Twitter, or the likes. Thank you once again to everyone. At this juncture, I would want to encourage our female change makers who are tuned in at this time to ensure that they secure their tickets, your registration tickets to be at the Women in Development Summit coming up in June. Make it a date. It promises to be a very dynamic convening of inspiring, powerful thought leaders within the development sector. And it's just that close knit opportunity to get into that room, network with other like minds like yourself, and to really just have a great time of sharing and collaborative. So I will encourage you to, of course, really just leverage the key example of what we've learned today by just signing up so that indeed you're leveraging key critical platforms to what? To build strategic alliances. Thank you, Lamidayo. I see you. I know many other chain makers are tuned in, and some other persons will, of course, share their insights as they get to watch the replay much later. So, of course, the registration link is scrolling on the screen at the moment. So, you definitely I will implore you to just, as you see this, the registration link scroll in, you can just type it out and, of course, register. Would also ensure that, of course, in subsequent mails that come from us, which we have ensured that we include how you can access registration within the summit. We'll continue to just impute this so that you can definitely register, sponsor other female change makers to be a part, and we look forward to hosting you in a grand style at the Women in Development Summit, scheduled to hold next month. No, scheduled to hold in June of this year. Once again, to all change makers tuned in, thank you for joining us at this edition. We look forward to having you join us again at the May edition of the Social Impact Webinar. For now, we say bye for now. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day, evening. Thank you. Yes, that's the registration link in the comment section. So it's popped up already. So please use the link in the registration, rather in the comment section to register. And if you want to make further inquiries about how to register or how to sponsor or how to come on board as a partner, definitely send an email to us at info@ideationofafrica.org. You can DM any one of our admins at the moment, and we'll definitely respond to any of your inquiries. Thank you once again to all of our chain makers, all of our ecosystem members tuned in this evening, this afternoon, or from any part of the world. We're saying bye for now. Thank you. Until next time, we look forward to seeing you at the May edition.